This past Saturday, I took my 340 Weatherby and my Mark V Deluxe. I went and did a ladder test with the 225 Accubon and N560. I just wanted to see what kind of velocities I could get out of this, and it didn't disappoint. Okay, we are doing a ladder test with the 340 Weatherby N560 and a 225 grain Accubon. 3067. The ladder test goes on. Our hunt for 3100 with 225 Accubon. So we basically got 3,110 feet per second with a 225. That's smoking fast, over 4,800 foot-pounds of energy. Next up, we're going to see, is it going to be accurate? Who knows, but still fun to see those velocities. And in today's video, this has been a viewer request for quite some time, so we're finally going to do it. What are the ideal powders for 340 Weatherby Magnum? Now, like I always do, I want to talk about some of the slower Magnum burning powders that actually aren't very ideal. Now, this one has an asterisk because you can use these for the heaviest of bullets in 340 Weatherby. If you're going to shoot a 300 grain bullet, yeah, go to town with these. But most people are going to be shooting 225, 250 grain bullets. All of these are way too slow burning. That also includes the ball powders, Stay Ball HD, Ramshot LRT, Ramshot Grand. They're too slow for the lighter bullets in 340. So what I'm going to do in this video is go from the lightest bullets you can shoot, like this 160 grain. Yes, I've actually shot it in my 340 Weatherby and got stupid fast velocities. 3571. And we're just going to go slowly on up. All of the ideal powders for the 340 Weatherby as you go up in bullet weight. Okay, let's start out with the little bitty guy, the 160 grain TTSX. What a fun little bullet. Here are the ideal powders, and it's not going to be what you think. You know, when you think of 340 Weatherby that almost has 5,000 foot-pounds of energy, you're probably thinking, I got to use really slow burning powder to get the most out of it. Especially with these light bullets, that is not the case. N550, maybe one of the best ones. Really good case fill, that's what that percentage is, because we are looking for a high case fill, but 100% burnt propellant. Your top velocity at 65,000 PSI, 3,555 feet per second. N540 is a little faster burning, hence the case fill is a little lower, and you're definitely not getting the velocity that N550 is, 3,480. N150, one of the best powders out there. Really high case fill, but not great in velocity. This is about accuracy though, N150. Varget, another amazing powder. Yeah, you can use Varget in a 340 Weatherby. 95% case fill, 3,510 feet per second. H4350, 99% case fill, and you're getting pretty good velocity, 3,540 feet per second. Then we go up to Reloader 17. This is your velocity powder if you want to shoot a 160 grain. 100% case fill, 3,575 feet per second. All right, let's step up to a 185 grain bullet. Now, I'm going to get on my soapbox a little. These lighter bullets are fun. They're really flat shooting, but I just feel like it's not really meant for 340 Weatherby. You're not getting the most out of this cartridge, personally, if you're shooting these really light bullets. If you're going to do that, go to a 338 RPM or a 338 Win Mag for these weights. But here are the powders and what kind of velocities you can expect. And I didn't say this before, but this is with 26-inch barrel. All right, H4350, really good option. 97% case fill, 3,325 feet per second. N550, 100% case fill, 3,330 feet per second. IMR 4350, that's a bit older, but it works. 103% case fill, a little bit slower on the velocity, 3,255. And finally, the magic stuff, Reloader 17, 98% case fill, and the fastest velocity is 3,355 feet per second. All right, I've got GRT pulled up. Let's talk 210 grain bullets, whether it's the Barnes or a 210 Partition from Nosler or whatever company is making it. I think the Swift has a 210 grain bullet. I don't like it. 340 Weatherby, it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm going to show you why. All right. So using Reloader 17, which is shown to get extremely good velocities, I'm basically maxing out. I mean, if I take it up to 65,000 PSI, I'm maxing out probably 3,170 feet per second. That's not great. This is the most you're ever going to get. You know, all the other powders, you're going to be low 3,100. maybe mid 3100. Doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to show you why when we use 225s. Now we're getting to the good bullet weights. Now why do I prefer 225 over 210? The BC jumps up quite a bit. And the velocity, yeah, it doesn't really go down that much. Okay, so let's go through all the powders. I listed a ton of powders. Now the ones I'm starting with, yeah, you're not going to get blazing fast velocities, but this is precision in mind. N555, triple nickel, max velocity 3010, N160. I've gotten quarter MOA with the 225 TTSX with N160. Your max velocity 3000 feet per second. N550. It's a little fast burning, not ideal, but it's still good. 94% case fill, 3015 feet per second. IMR 4350. I was kind of wondering if I should even include this, but it's a good powder. You're not going to get velocity with it. 2950. H4350. 92% case fill, 3015 feet per second. So it's a solid one. IMR 4831. Yeah, this old boomer powder, it's great stuff if you can get it. Good case fill. And hey, look at that. Now we're going up into velocity. You're going to see some cool velocities here soon. Reloader 19. Really good case fill, 3065 feet per second. Reloader 22. If there was just one powder that worked in all of my Weatherby rifles, whether it was ideal or not, it's Reloader 22. I just love this stuff. Really good case fill, 3050 feet per second. Reloader 23, seems about similar to Reloader 22. All right, now we're getting into the really good stuff. Now I got an asterisk next to N560 because if you're going to do N560, you basically have to be going over 3055 feet per second to have 100% burn propellant with N560. But we get up to 3100, as I showed. Crazy good. Finally, yep, Reloader 26. Wow, 3150 feet per second with Reloader 26 at 65,000 PSI. Yeah, 7 PRC and 340 Weatherby share the same fate. Now, I'm sure some of you have noticed I haven't mentioned either of these two powders, some of my two favorites. There's a reason. We'll get into that in a second. But let's go to the 250 grain bullets, whether it's a 250 grain LRX, 250 grain AccuBond, or whatever floats your boat in bullet flavor. We are going to go with kind of the slower stuff, get really good accuracy. N160 makes sense if you don't care about velocity, topping out at 2850 feet per second. N560. Guys, your gun likes N560. This is the powder for a 250 grain bullet in your 340 Weatherby. Really good case fill, and wow, 2947 feet per second. Here we go. We're getting into Weatherby owner's favorite powder, IMR 7828 SSC. You're gonna be able to top out at 2950 feet per second, but there is an asterisk, okay? This only has 100% burnt propellant at 64,500 PSI and higher. That's not ideal. I have a load that's basically right at 65,000 PSI. Is it the most consistent load? No, but it's something I'm willing to live with. Just wanted to give you a heads up about this powder. Same goes with H4831SC, okay? You're only 100% burnt propellant and near the very max. So, you got to be pushing it 2940 and faster. It's really limited. All right, Reloader 22. It's good, right? You're going to get accuracy with Reloader 22. It's not the fastest, 2900 max. Reloader 19, also a really good option. Max velocity 2910. Reloader 23, we're dropping a little bit in velocity at 2890. And then finally, Reloader 26. Oh, I wish I had some. Topping out at 2985 feet per second. It really is the magic stuff for 340 Weatherby. And back to these. This is for 300 grain bullets. N565, and you can basically match Reloader 26 velocities with N565, but it's got to be in basically the right cartridge with the right bullet. Unfortunately, that's not the case for the 340 Weatherby with anything lighter than probably a 285 or a 300 grain bullet. H1000, again, really good stuff. It's too slow burning for the lighter stuff, so great option for 300 grain. And Retumbo, you'll get a little bit more velocity than H1000. Retumbo might be the ideal powder for a 300 grain bullet in 340 Weatherby. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this long. I know there's not a lot of 340 Weatherby shooters, but for the small number that did watch this, I hope this helps. You know, I've heard people get crazy good velocities in 340 Weatherby, and with that Mark V action, it doesn't surprise me that you might not see signs of pressure. But I'm hoping this will help for your accuracy.